Hello, everybody, and welcome to Benedictusdominus. I'm Luke Meyerhoff, and today I'm with Nolan Martin, and we're back. I think that it's been a long time coming that we're back on the waves of YouTube, and also, if you are possibly listening through podcast sources, we're also going to be starting to feed our audio through those. So if you're listening to those, big shout out to you. Thanks for listening. So here we are. Welcome back. How are you doing, Nolan?
I'm doing great. It feels good to be back. I know I've released one video about the St. Augustine on Just War for my school project, but it's actually nice to be actually back in video chat mode, or hopefully soon to be in person.
Yeah, but yeah, school's been out for a few weeks now, so we've been able to kind of relax, kick our feet up a little bit. I know, Nolan, you've been I don't want to say consumed, but very busy with work. You've been hopping around at the Home Depot.
Yeah.
All the dads at the lawn and garden center. And then
it's true, because they had to find a job really quick after we were told that Toast was no longer going to happen. Shout out to our new water bottles.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, Liz, if you see this video.
Hope she does.
Yeah. But yeah, working 2 jobs right now, and after a very busy end to the school year, now I'm making myself more busy. But you know, I don't want to have to pay for. I don't want to come out of college in debt. That's what I'm trying to say.
That makes complete sense. Like, who would want debt at the end? But I mean, normally I was hooked up with a pretty good job. I was going to be helping Rob Knapp at Cape and mow some lawns, but then I had knee surgery, which was planned, but it wasn't planned to have a 6-week recovery time. So my summer has been spent, I'm not going to try and pull it up so you can see it, but recovering my torn meniscus. So I've just been sitting at home, I've been watching a lot of YouTube and Catholic stuff like that. But
well, I gotta say, Luke, like, going 2 years with a torn meniscus and having that constant knee pain on and off, props to you for putting up with that.
In hindsight, I think I was pretty dumb in pushing it off. I mean, trying to catch my senior year with it, most likely torn, was probably pretty dumb as well and didn't help me out. But hey, I still got honorable mention for All City, so I think if I had a normal meniscus, I would have been first team All City and All State. So, oh well, I don't live in the past too much. But today we're just here talking about some of Nolan's favorite things.
Which are books. I love books, as you can't tell. I have a bookshelf behind me. There's a layer down below this shelf, and then you have this layer, and then you have my top here, which are for my more important things, such as breviaries, Bibles, Butler's Lives of the Saints. You got my TBR or to be read books, and you got breviaries and daily mass missal. Then I have a lot more in my closet, but I have 2 books that I want to talk about today. For me, that I've read recently is Rules for Retrogrades by Timothy Gordon and Dave Gordon. They're 2 brothers. They live in California. Actually, Dave had just moved across the country to finish up school. And it's a book about masculinity. It's about how a man needs to, like, act as a Catholic man, like, you know, a moral and morality and sexual decency, classical masculinity. Talks about, like, just things that you should do as a citizen of the United States as well. Talks about faith, hope, and charity, and Christian civic liberty, and, like, the social kingship of Christ. So it's more of like a social Christian ethics type of book, and it's like 40 tactics. He gives you 40 tactics to defeat the left. So, in a sense, it kind of seems more of a non-Catholic book, but these 40 tactics are built upon Christianity. And I read it from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. one morning, and drank a cup of coffee along with it, and it was a great book, great read. Otherwise, I wouldn't have read it all in one sitting.
I remember you were like tweeting all about it that day, and I think Timothy Gordon replied. Was it Timothy Gordon that replied to your tweet, and you got Twitter famous for it?
Oh, Dave replied to it, and then Michael Boris made a comment on it as well. He's like, great choice, and so I was happy about that.
Now you're Twitter famous because of that. But
yeah. So the next book that I wanted to go over, I guess 7 books. It's really 7 books. It's the Chronicles of Narnia. I'm only through book 1. Actually, it's technically book 6. Depending on what you go by, the publication order or the chronological order. But I'm reading them through the chronological order. So I just read The Magician's Nephew, and that's like the creation of Narnia. And C.S. Lewis does a wonderful job of the creation of Narnia, and it just resembles so much of God creating our world. And Aslan is just amazing, and I did not expect that at all. And coming into that, I'm not much of a fantasy reader, but it gives you such a Christian idea of the creation of our world, and gives you a sense of God too. And he even has a resemblance of the Garden of Eden in here as well, but he has his own little twist to it, and it's just really cool to see it play out. So I highly recommend getting started into this series. Right now I'm on the 2nd book, which is The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Mm-hmm. I remember I read The Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe for a senior English class, and I think that my class actually had to give up on it halfway through because we were right next to the end of the year. But boy, it was I love The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I'd love to get into more of it. But I mean, I'm not as encapsulated with reading at the moment as you are, Nolan. It's okay, but I mean, I brought a few books along too. I mean,
what'd you bring?
So mine are more of the spiritual nature, and what's funny is none of these books I'm gonna talk about I haven't finished yet. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm a slow reader, and I hop from book to book, and for the most part, my book reading has been spiritual reading in some sense. The more recent publication of From the Depths of Our Hearts by Cardinal Seurat and Pope Emeritus Benedict, talking about the priesthood and celibacy. It's just reading Pope Benedict, and because it's split in 2 parts, just listening to him talk about the historicalness of the priesthood in the Old Testament. It's just been fantastic. I mean, I'm only 30 pages in, so I've still got more to read, but it's super good. I also brought what?
I liked that book just because of the controversy around it. Of now that Pope Benedict isn't actually Pope Emeritus Benedict is not actually on the cover, or his name isn't on the cover as a co-author, but you were able to get an edition that was, and that's really cool to see. And the book isn't that controversy as you're saying. It's just about the priesthood. Calm down,
Yeah, I pre-ordered it, and so I got a discount on it, and so I got this weird copy with nothing on the back of it. I was a little weirded out by it, but it still had Pope Benedict's face on it, which was kind of, I mean, I knew the whole controversy was going on Twitter. That was fun to watch, but yeah. I also brought one of my favorite spirituality books, the Contemplative Hunger. It was given to me by actually Nolan's parochial vicar. He gave it to me for Christmas one year, Father Andy Bergkamp. And I'm only halfway through this book, but it's little chunks of meditations to read. And one of my favorite spots that I don't underline books too often, but I underline this part is talking about giving yourself totally to God in your daily life. And Father Haggerty literally says God has no desire for donations, but only the entire self. Donating something signifies that you're, giving part of what you have. But he says that God doesn't want that, like the rich young man, but he wants all of you to be devoted to him, such as Mary at Bethany. So super good book, highly recommend it. It's by Ignatius Press, which is my favorite book publisher that's current right now. So really well made book, love it. And then finally I brought my parish has been giving away free copies of selections from Fulton Sheen talking about happiness. It's really bright. There we go. It's super short, but just kind of talking about how to find happiness and how we're all on the road to eternal happiness, which is the fullness of happiness that we can achieve. And Fulton Sheen, oh man, I love what he says. He says very shortly, he says, "You are made for perfect happiness. That is your purpose. No wonder everything short of God disappoints you." Because, Fulton Sheen. Can't wait for him to be beatified.
I didn't bring any other books with me, but if I had to mention one more book, just overall that I enjoyed thoroughly, it's like probably one of my favorite books, or Catholic books of all time, would be Father Donald Calloway's Champions of the Rosary. Yeah, there, you can probably see it better now.
Yeah.
He just wrote a book about St. Joseph, which I will be getting to here pretty soon. Hopefully I can share about that. But yeah, I'm really excited for that book and a few other things as well, because I have a lot more to be read books, or books I have started, and like you, I have not continued all the way through.
Yeah, and unfortunately this is like just part of my book collection that I have right now. Most of my books are actually kind of at the house of formation, still sitting on a book or in a box right now, because I'm leaving most of my stuff up there over the summer. So yeah, a lot of my fun books that I also have are reference books that are just kind of like historical books. Maybe I can get into some of those in another time, but
wait, Luke, I have one more fun book.
Of course you do. What is it?
It's a Fulton Sheen's Wartime prayer book. It's super small, and it gives you a bunch of different prayers that Fulton Sheen has in here, and it has been super useful. And you know that I use this about every day while I was in seminary, especially next to you during adoration. Just a quick pop open. It has St. Thomas's Eucharistic prayer in here, so I'd pray it before I go receive the sacrament, and a few other things. There's some great, just tiny spiritual insights in here that you can go and see, and I think almost everybody should have one of these.
I'm surprised you haven't convinced me to get one of those yet, because I convinced you to get so many books, but you didn't convince me to get that one. But
that's so true though. How many books I probably bought because of you?
I super convinced you to buy that Daily Roman Missal. Mine's all the way across the room, but I mean, it's a good book. You should get a Daily Roman Missal. Stop throwing away little missalettes every few months.
That's true. I mean, you get this nice leather on. I guess it's like faux leather, but it's really nice print and stuff as well. Beautiful. It's worth it.
It's an investment, but it's good. That wraps it about up, guys. So be sure to check out we're on multiple different podcast hosting sources, such as Spotify, Google Play, Anchor, Breaker, and Radio Public. We're not quite on Apple Podcasts yet, but hopefully soon we will be. Be sure to check it out. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for more good content that we will hopefully be posting more often now that we have made some more time in our schedules to film for this. So I also saw that on YouTube, we only have about 30% of our viewers are unsubscribed. So if you are one of those viewers who's not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. It'll be a great resource and place to visit our content. And if you are subscribed, make sure you hit the notification bell.
Don't break
like the Liberty Bell, but
it's already broken.
But be sure to subscribe. We're everywhere. If you want business cards, I have a lot of business cards. If you want some, email us, some DM us, whatever. We'll be sure to get you some. So that's about it. So thank you for watching. Stay safe, pray well, and we'll see you next time. God bless. Benedictusdominustalk.
Deo gratias.